We are going to watch the movie Flow. I don't know if you heard about Flow.
No,
It
I
is
haven't.
an independent film that's up for an Oscar at the moment. It had a very low budget of $4 million.
1 minute. The Oscars was a few nights ago.
Oh, was it? What?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so out of touch. I already live in a field. Did they
Okay,
win?
no, just
When?
to help. It won Best Animated Feature 2025.
It won.
Yeah, it
The
won.
Oscar, Evan.
Yeah, and it was nominated for Best International Feature Film.
That is awesome. It's based in like a post-apocalyptic world where humans are gone and it's just following this cat around. And there's no voices in it at all. It's just like the sounds of animals. And he meets all these different animals on his path and it gets really flooded and then all the floods go down and they have to try and work together to try and help each other. And yeah, we're going to watch it tonight.
Which country was it made in?
I've no idea. Do you know where it was made of?
I
see
think it was
here-
somewhere in like Lithuania or Latvia.
Yeah, Latvia. Well done, Evan.
Well done. It was Latvia. Well done. Oh, Evan likes supporting the small independent filmmakers. I'm telling you,
way.
he's teaching me so much. The best kid. Best
Oh.
kid in Ireland.
Best kid in the world.
Oh, he's so good. He's such a good kid. I'm absolutely blessed. I really am.
Sure, he's blessed as well, though. You're such a good mommy.
I suppose
You are. No, you
I'm
really,
doing
really
good.
are.
I am actually doing good. I'm doing good. I need to keep reminding myself of that. When I get a bit low and just like, oh, everything's getting on top of me. It's like, actually, I'm doing really good. For what I have, I'm doing really, really good. So just keep going and don't be stressing.
Absolutely. Like, we've spoken now probably every day for months. And I see the amount that you do with him, and I see the amount of, this is going to sound silly, like, but the amount of energy you give and, you know, the quality time and how much you care. And I hear from you things that he says, and I'm just like, what a perfect kid. But perfect kids don't come out of nowhere. Do you know what I mean? They have parents who are nurturing them and nourishing that seed. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're a great
Miriam.
mommy. You should be so proud,
You made me
honestly.
cry. Stop.
No, please don't cry. No, don't cry, because I'll start crying then.
Really appreciate it. I really do. Because it was tough. It hasn't been easy, you know, but very, very rewarding. Like sobriety,
Yeah.
it's not an easy thing to do, but it's the most rewarding to actually put the effort in. Don't just sort
Absolutely.
of sit back and expect it to just work out. Like you have to actually actively engage and do stuff, you know,
Yeah. Can we just
regularly.
acknowledge, some days it's really fucking hard. It's really difficult. Like having all these commitments we were talking about and having to always do the right thing and the fear of relapse and, you know, seeing other people going out and having to just live in a parallel society, essentially, having to keep yourself safe constantly, having to keep yourself safe from yourself, that constant battle that you have to fight. It's really difficult. It's really hard.
And I
But-
think that fear of relapse is so unique to addiction that there's no other instance in life where you can have a relapse in your physical illness or your mental illness and you have a relapse. Nobody's ever going to say, well, that's your own fault. What should you do that for? You know, whereas when it comes to
Yeah.
addiction, it's like, well, what did you do that for? It's like,
Yeah.
they're like, oh, nobody understands.
Yeah.
Which is
and
again
people
why
are
it's so important.
angry.
Keep doing meetings. Keep doing meetings.
Yeah. That was one. I actually had a bit of a situation where I've realized how fearful I am of relapse. So I have a bad knee. I probably complained about it a lot previously, but I tore my meniscus 10 years ago because I was an active addiction, never got fixed properly. And it's been really bad lately. So I had to go get the MRI and my doctor told me I was going to maybe have to get an operation. And I didn't care about the operation part. I didn't care about having to recover from an operation. Immediately, my thought was medication. How am I going to have an operation on my knee and not take painkillers? And it freaked me out. It stressed me out so much. I spoke to my GP about it. She was like, look, we'll work through this together. I know St. Pat's, the mental health hospital in Dublin, where I attended treatment for addiction. Apparently, the pharmacist can link in with consultants to sort of come up with a pain plan.
That's amazing.
Which is all great. It's all well and good. But at the end of the day, if I'm sitting there with prescription drugs, that scares me that I even have to open my mind up to that, because even the thought of opening my mind to that could just start that demon, that disease spiraling all over again. And so it was scary. And I realized I have such a fear of relapse. But then I've been thinking a lot lately about is that you need to have a bit of a fear, right? Because it's healthy. But then when does it cross that line into where you're fearing it so much that you're actually manifesting it to a certain point? You're thinking about it so much, like I can't relapse, that it actually then it stays in your head rather than being able to clear it out or being able to accept or let go. That resistance. Yeah. Did you have that at the start?
I think a lot of it is why actually going to therapists, going to addiction therapy, as well as going to meetings is really good. Because a lot of times when you bring something like that to a meeting, you can get some really great advice and some really great coping mechanisms. But the odd time, someone can say something and it can actually set you in the wrong direction. And it is actually, from my own experience, it's great to have a lot of different angles that you're coming at this against.
Yeah.
Again, I've always said, and to anybody, the first year, it's literally just don't pick up. If I'm in fear and I feel like, God, am I in a bit too much fear? I don't care. I'm not drinking. So it's working. I'm not going to question it or touch it or anything. I'm giving myself a full 12 months, a full revolution around the sun. And then when I'm back at day one again, then I'll start addressing, okay, maybe I'm going a bit overboard on my not going to friends' houses, or maybe I'm going a bit overboard on not going to the pub or not going to whatever. Maybe I can try this or that, but as long as I don't drink. And I don't know. I think it's definitely good to have a healthy amount of fear at first.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm kind of now, after 4 years, it's not that I'm afraid of relapse. I'm afraid of just having one. I've pulled it right back. That's where my line is drawn. That line isn't just like a line in the sand. It's a fucking hole that I've dug, and it's a trench, and I'm never crossing it. I don't ever want to cross it. Not one. What's that lovely saying they have? One is too many
and 1,000 never enough.
First time I heard that, I was like, wow. Whoever made that up knew exactly what they were talking about. Yeah. And I just don't want to go there. But it's different with alcohol than it is with pain meds, because no doctor is going to prescribe you alcohol,
Yeah.
And I remember having an operation. I think I had a mole removed from my back or something. It was a very minor thing, but there was painkillers involved and there was numbing involved for the operation itself. And I went around to my friend. She had made me some dinner because I was feeling very off. And I just started crying in the kitchen. I was like, Kat, what the fuck is wrong with me? And she said, you've just literally been escaping. You've had that chemical escape in your body. You've been able to not feel pain. And now the feeling is coming back again. And that's the very same as what happens in addiction.
Yeah.
And that's very possibly what's setting you off emotionally, because it's reminding your system of all of these things that used to be in play. And it was when she started describing that to me that way, I was like, fuck, that's exactly what it is. That's why I'm so upset and like agitated and just really irritated. Like I did not want to drink at all, but I felt like I wanted to in some way or something, or like I had, even though I hadn't. And it was because of the surgery that I had and the painkillers that I had. Even though it wasn't painkillers I was addicted to, what they did to my body was very similar to what I was doing to my body by drinking far too much. I was checking out, and it has checked me out.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what the substance is or even what the behavior is. If you are escaping to the point where it's risking your life and you don't care, then it's just addiction, isn't it? And everyone has different poisons. But yeah, for sure. And I think one of the biggest realizations I came to about being an addict general is I always thought I had mental health issues and that's why I was an addict. And really, truly understanding that it's a chicken and egg. You can't separate them, But until you have that foundation of recovery, none of the other things will work, right?
Absolutely.
Like you can be going to therapy, you can have a psychiatrist, you can have an addiction counselor, you can have go to meetings, you can have all of these things. But if you're still using, none of those things are going to work. But if you stop using and you build that foundation, then they're all wonderful tools that can help build the house of recovery, right? But you have to have that foundation first before any of the mental health stuff can even be touched. And I think seeing it that way round is really, really, that's what spurs me on. But it also makes it scary, and it also gives me the fear because, you know, if I had taken those pain medication, even if I had everything in place, would that rock the foundation? Would that make the house fall down, you know? And I'd be back to the place where I have to build the foundation again, because you can't build on, actually, I don't know if that's true. Can you build on a non-foundation?
It
you
can,
build on
but
just
it'll
ground?
probably fall the first
Yeah.
big wind, you know? Like the whole thing about strong foundations is that it holds through a storm or through turbulent times. I mean, all buildings are fine just to be thrown up if nothing's ever going to bother them. It's grand,
Yeah.
but you need proper good roots and good foundations to get through life, really. And it also reminds me of something you'd said to me before, that it's ultimately, it's up to me. And it's up to me rebuilding that relationship with myself. And all of these other things like that you were describing, all these other things around, they're all tools to help me rebuild with myself. But there's no point in any of it if I'm not making that commitment to myself.
Yeah.
Oh, it's all very like somber or something today. But it's serious. Like, this is
I
real.
don't think it's somber. I think this podcast is our life. And our life
Really
is
is.
recovery. We met in recovery. And again, without recovery, we don't have a podcast. I don't have painting. We
I
don't
don't
have a
have any
life,
of this.
you know?
My
No, we're moving
business, I wouldn't
towards
have it.
death. It's life or death. Addiction is life or death. And being in recovery is life. And being in addiction is death. So, yeah, it's somber. Yeah, it's scary. People maybe don't understand how high the stakes are. And I think once you realize how high the stakes are, that's when you can kind of... Actually, I don't even want to say that, because for a long time I knew how high the stakes were and I didn't care. So it's not actually... That's not a motivator into recovery.